Hi, today I want to talk about how I read one book a day for almost a year. When I was in high school, I lived in the all boys school and it's completely fenced up. So there's no way anyone can escape that campus, and then there's nothing much to do except for reading books, getting knowledge, and doing some sort of exercise. So for me, it's very hard to make friends. I was new to the town and I don't know a lot of people. So I was always like one shy kid. It's pretty quiet, skinny, and I like to do nothing throughout my entire day. So I go to classrooms, of course, but I don't care anything about what they teach in classrooms because I think fundamentally Chinese education system, where I was coming from, is completely flawed and they don't teach anything of value to anyone. So that's why I didn't really focus on my schoolwork per se. Every single class, I will pull up this book beneath my desk and I'll just read it throughout the entirety of the class. And that's how I got enough time to pretty much finish one book per day. Some books are like way skinnier, so I can finish quite a few of them throughout the day. So for example, the Sherlock Holmes books, I can pretty much finish 3 books per day. And I did finish 3 books per day around that time. So how do I get all these books? We have this one stinky little library. It's super dark in a basement. Because that's how less they care about the libraries in my school. So I go to this library, and then check out all the books, okay? So in the beginning, I just started with one bookshop. Like I'm interested mostly in fiction books at the time, so I read a lot of fiction books, mostly Western fictions. So I don't enjoy like Chinese fiction or that genre too much. So I started reading a lot of like Western classical novels. My favorite one is Moby Dick. If you wonder, it's a super sick book, and then it's very interesting examination of how literary word can take you out of your body and immerse in a completely different place. And I like that escapism aspect of literature and fictions. When I read them, I wish and I feel as if I'm there with these people going on these adventures, which is physically what I couldn't have at the moment. It was horrible because I live in this like stinky little 4 people bedroom dormitory, and we got all these bunk beds, 2 bunk beds, and then I sleep literally with 3 other guys. Like we are horrible people. Like it's like the washroom is small, and then we have like public bus. It's a horrible place, and I do not want to be there at all in my mind. So my mind travels through the books that I read to go to far and away lands, to go to different times, to enjoy and live different lifestyles. And that was really appealing to me. That's why I was addicted to reading books. And we have this library that I finished the library. Like, this is gonna sound like bizarre to you. Like, I literally finished the library of every single book that I'm interested in. Like, I've read them. I finished the library. That's how crazy it is. Because there's nothing to do. There's not even phones. So we have phones, yes. But the internet's pretty much gone. So there's no internet. Only thing we can do with our phone is through texting. And there's no signal everywhere. There's only a Wi-Fi in the classroom building. So the building where we take classes, right? There's only Wi-Fi there. And the Wi-Fi is pretty bad. There's no Wi-Fi in dormitory, there's no Wi-Fi in the rest of the campus. And the campus is completely fenced up. And there's no signal neither in the entire place. It's pretty much a far away like wasteland almost. So we're on the seaside of Dalian. We're right next to the sea. Our campus is right next to the sea, but we don't get to go out and actually see the sea because it's all fenced up and no one get to leave. It's just cheap real estate there, probably. That's the main reason the campus is there. So my physical world at the time was so tremendously horrible and unlivable and the people are like somewhat hostile. The students are somewhat hostile, and then it's very hard for me to make friends because I'm not local. I don't speak the dialect, and then although I'm trying to speak the dialect, but I failed in being authentic. I cannot be authentic with it, so it's very hard for me to make local friends. So essentially, I just turn to books. I just turn to the fictional medium to kind of transfer my consciousness into fictional characters and to live lives through other people's shoes. And that literally was so appealing to me at that time that it was almost natural. It's only natural for me to finish one book a day. I didn't even think about how amazing that is and how much knowledge I've gained through that experience. Because after I finished reading fictional books, in the entire library, I started to pick up some non-fictional books, like a lot like astrophysics books and then entrepreneurship. So we got these entrepreneurial magazines from the US. So pretty much it's a monthly thing. So every single month, I will wait till the drop of those magazines. Like literally, I finished every one of them like right after it came to our library. It got delivered to the library during the morning, and I finished it like by the end of the day. And I need to wait for one more month, 30 more days, and more or less. And I finished all the like Walking Dead comic books, and then Game of Thrones series, the entire A Song of Ice and Fire series. All those books, I finished them, and then a lot of amazing books I've read that gave me a lot of knowledge and a lot of introspection into people's life. And I started reading psychological books as well, because I noticed I really enjoy psychology a lot as a subject, and I can always have fun reading those books, even though if they're like literally just textbooks and they're literally just filled with data and stuff like that, I still really enjoy it. So that's how I knew that maybe pursuing psychology is something that I might be interested in the future, and I can always put it in my life to use psychology in my real life and make my life better, more positive, make a positive impact and influence people better. So I started reading non-fictional books, and they gave me a lot of helps as well. And nowadays, when I grow up, when I have all these privileges of using the internet all the time and having access to amazing weather outside, having access to an amazing city to live in, Toronto, a beautiful city, heaven on earth. I'm here in this greatness, and the people are insanely nice. It's so easy to make friends in Toronto, and they're so like open to new experiences, non-stuck up, and they're so cool in the core of their existence that I am so blessed of being at this moment right now to enjoy everything that's around me. But I find it hard to read books. I find it hard to focus solely on a book for 2 hours at a time, which in my high school, mind you, I could read books for literally 5 hours at a time. And it was just good for me. I just enjoyed that so much more than living in the real world. But now reading books it's hard because my attention span is getting destroyed by instant gratification, social media, YouTube videos, Netflix, things like this. Pretty much they broke my mind down into a quick reaction, rapid fire machine instead of a slow thinking, thoughtful flow of existence. That's really bad, because if you know psychology, you understand that there is a use for rapid fire quick thinking, but those are not real intelligence. The real IQ captured that, the real IQ quadrant measurement captured that, and also captures the slow wave of thinking. The slow, intentional, up-down thinking. So top-down thinking. So essentially it's from your cerebral to the rest of your body, this kind of executive thought process. In comparison with rapid-fire thinking, which is a bottom-up thinking, so you have a reaction, you see something and you quickly made up a thought in your mind. This is a reactional thinking, which is what social media and all these like real Instagram reels, TikTok videos prompt us to do. When we watch that too much in our life, our attention span will be completely fucked. they will be completely destroyed and rambled and disintegrated into an unfocused, sluggish consciousness. This is why you and I nowadays probably find it hard to read books, because the internet is so prevalent, and then it's literally in every aspect of our life. Some people have their Apple Watch, so they can look on their watch and have access to internet, which is just insane. We are connected to this whole flow of human consciousness every single moment throughout our entire life. First thing when you wake up, a lot of people look at their phones. I still do this. I want to check who's messaged me when I was sleeping, and I want to see if I have any emails, work emails, something like this. This is really wrong, because this essentially breaks our attention span down, and then wear our consciousness down as well. So I find it hard to read books nowadays. And something I can take away from my high school years, when I did read one book per day for at least a year, I realized when I was out of distraction, I don't have anything else in my life, and I can solely focus on books. Reading is so easy. It's such a simple, natural course of action that happens. And right now, that sense has been lost. And I cannot do this kind of reading from front cover to back cover anymore. It's just incredibly hard for me, because there's so many things going on in my life, and I just want to focus on those things instead of being fully present in either fiction or non-fictional experience offered by a book, which by far, from a lot of research I've seen, book is the best medium for knowledge transfer, even till this day. Because when you're reading a book, you are solely focused on the kind of message they're attempting to share to you, the kind of information that's embedded in it. In non-fiction books, it's easiest to learn concept. It's way easier to read an entire textbook from front cover to back, or read the entire textbook chapter by chapter, than going to lectures. Literally, reading the books teach you a lot more, and a lot more efficiently than going to a lecture where a professor talks to you and looking at PowerPoints. Because your mind is always in a deeper flow of thinking when you're reading a book, but not when you're just paying audio attention to a class or watching a video. So many distractions in these mediums. But book is pure. When you see words, you understand words as what they are. They're concepts. You read the book, you read the words, you comprehend it. And you understand the concept instead of any other flamboyant distractions. So book is fundamentally a better medium for you to learn any knowledge. If you want to learn to be a real estate agent, read a book. Updated one, that is. If you want to be astrophysicist, read a book. They will tell you exactly how to achieve these goals and how to view different subjects. And then they will give you a stream of information that no one else in your life has. So in my high school, because I read so many books, I'm literally so much more perspective. I have so much wider perspective than the average person. So I can see far beyond the boundary of our real reality. I understand for a fact that there are different kind of lifestyle out there that one can pursue. Not just being a student, not just going into a 9-to-5 jobs. There's so much more in our world. In Philippines, people living a completely different lifestyles than people in China. In Canada, people living completely different lifestyle from people in Colombia. There's so much wide range of human existence that we can potentially live. So many lives that we can potentially live. And there's so much more knowledge in the universe right now than what we can comprehend. So I am humble also because I read so much book and I still have something that I don't understand always. So that's my edge over other people my age. That's why I could become slightly easier to be successful amongst my peers. It's because I have this edge that I read one book per week, per day. throughout the entire year I did this. And I know I have this focus, attention that I can do this. And today, I want to try doing this again. So I still have a lot of books that I haven't read in my room. I still use the library because the best way to get books is to go to library, because these books will be free for you. You don't want to pay $30 for books that you don't even finish. That is odd, and that's completely a waste of money. So go to a local library. You definitely have a local library around you. And just read whatever they have. Like, think about what books you want to read. Of course, do your research. See what kind of book you like, what kind of book you want to read. But just read it. Like, even if the book is kind of bad and you don't want to finish it, start reading it. Even if you don't finish it, you'll gain something from reading a book. And there's so much knowledge, wide range of knowledge that you can potentially gain from books. For example, this Japanese grammar book. It's amazing. Like, I learned Japanese from like reading, like watching YouTube videos and learning verbal Japanese, right? Learning the sound of it, learning the writing. But this grammar book has helped me tremendously because I didn't even think about grammar for Japanese. And this explains fundamentally a lot of specific aspect of the language that I didn't even think about. And this just make everything more clear to me. So there's a wide range of books that you can potentially get. And do read, because reading is still tremendously powerful today, especially when your peers are using their divided attention to watch YouTube videos, to have instant gratifications like drinking, doing drugs, and spending time on dating apps, these useless things. And if you use that time instead, like when you're watching Netflix videos and then Netflix movies, use the time to read a book. Use the time to increase your range of experience, to increase your field of perspective. You will be so much ahead of these people. And when it comes to the time that you need to make a decision, you'll make better decision than them. You'll become more tuned in the surrounding, in understanding yourself, in how you should act as a human being. You're already better than them. So today, I urge you to go ahead, put on your phone, put on your computer, put on every digital device. Just go ahead and read a book. Just for today. Try to finish it within the day. Okay? I know you can do it, because I did. Thanks so much. See you next time.